Have you ever looked at an old teapot sitting on a dusty shelf and thought, well, you've served your purpose. What if I told you that very teapot could be the showstopper of your garden? That's right. Today we're taking what most people would toss in a donation bin and turning it into a whimsical, eye-catching masterpiece right in your backyard. We're talking planters that look like they came from a storybook, fountains that dance with sunlight, and bird feeders that would make any feathered friend feel like royalty. But here's the best part. You don't need to be a DIY expert. You don't need a garage full of tools or a wallet full of cash. All you need is a little creativity, a teapot or two, and a love for bringing beauty to life in unexpected ways. Welcome to Green Haven Homes, the place where forgotten treasures get a second chance and your garden becomes the canvas for magic. Whether you're here for a weekend project or just a little inspiration to spark your creativity, you're in for a treat. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and get ready to say, wait, that's a teapot, because today we're revealing 10 genius teapot garden upcycles you won't believe. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at an old teapot the same way again. Let's get started. Idea number 1. The Whimsical Teapot Planter. This one is charming, simple, and honestly so satisfying to put together. If you've got an old teapot lying around, chipped or stained, don't toss it, turn it into a tiny garden of its own. Start by rinsing it out and letting it dry completely. If you're planting succulents or small herbs, you'll want to add a drainage hole at the bottom. Now, don't worry, this sounds scarier than it is. All you need is a masonry drill bit and a little patience. Slow and steady wins the race. Let the drill do the work. If you're using faux plants or dried flowers, you can skip this step entirely. Once the hole is in, it's time to fill your teapot with life. Add a layer of gravel or pebbles at the bottom for drainage, followed by a light potting mix. Now here's the fun part. Choose your plant. Mini succulents, trailing vines, thyme, lavender, or even mini roses for that fairy tale look. Tuck them in gently, top with a few decorative stones or moss, and boom, your vintage teapot is now a stunning living sculpture. Place it on an old wooden stool, a garden shelf, or even nestled into a flower bed where it can peek through the foliage like a little hidden gem. What makes this idea truly magical is its storytelling quality. It looks like something out of a children's book or a secret corner of a hidden garden. It invites curiosity, it invites wonder, and most of all, it invites compliments. So, whether you've got one teapot or 10, this idea is the perfect way to begin your upcycling journey with beauty and ease. Ready for the next one? Let's take to the skies, with a teapot bird feeder that's both elegant and irresistibly functional. If there's one thing a garden should always have, it's life. And nothing brings more delightful movement and music to your backyard than a few feathered visitors fluttering in for a snack. Idea number 2, the Hanging Teapot Bird Feeder. It's not just genius, it's downright poetic. Imagine this, a vintage teapot, suspended gracefully from a tree branch, spilling over with birdseed. Now add the gentle swing of the breeze, and the occasional bluebird or finch stopping by for a meal. Suddenly your garden isn't just beautiful, it's alive. Here's how you make it. Start with a sturdy ceramic or metal teapot. If it comes with a matching saucer, perfect. If not, any shallow dish will do. Use a strong weatherproof epoxy adhesive to attach the teapot to the saucer, ideally at a gentle tilt, as though the teapot is eternally pouring its contents onto the dish. Let it cure completely, usually overnight. Now it's time to hang. Use chains or heavy twine to suspend the feeder from a tree limb, shepherd's hook, or even a porch beam. Make sure it hangs securely. Remember, birds will perch, land, and flap about, so it needs to be stable. Some people use vintage teapot handles as natural hanging loops. Others drill tiny holes into the rim of the saucer to run the chain through. Either works just fine. Once hung, fill the saucer with birdseed. And then, wait. Just wait. The birds will come. And when they do, it's like you've invited nature's most joyful guests into your backyard. What's wonderful about this upcycle is that it blends whimsy with function. It's not just art, it's habitat. Not just decor, but nourishment. It's also a beautiful way to repurpose heirloom teapots, perhaps one passed down from a grandmother or gifted from a friend. Now, instead of gathering dust in a cupboard, it's in the sun, offering life and beauty every single day. Bonus tip, choose birdseed. blends that attract local species. In some areas, black oil sunflower seeds are a universal favorite, and to keep it clean, a quick rinse with warm water every few weeks will keep your feeder fresh and your birds happy. So, go ahead, invite the birds in, let your garden sing, flutter and sparkle with life. If there's one sound that instantly brings peace to a garden, it's water. Flowing, gentle, constant, and yes, a teapot can be part of that symphony. Idea number 3, the cascading teapot fountain. This one turns heads. At first glance, it looks like something out of a designer catalog. But in reality, it's completely doable, even if you've never built a fountain before. Here's how it works. You'll need 2 to 4 teapots, ideally of varying sizes, and a small submersible pump, easily found online or at garden centers. Your base can be anything from a large ceramic bowl to a galvanized tub, something wide enough to collect water. Start by securing the teapots at an angle using metal rods or copper piping. Drill small holes at the back of each teapot to run the tubing from the pump. Each teapot should pour into the next one below it, creating a beautiful tiered waterfall effect. Connect the pump tubing through each teapot, seal it with waterproof adhesive or silicone, and let it dry. Then place the pump in the base, fill with water and plug it in. Just like that, your garden has a heartbeat. It's perfect for patios, shady corners, or even as a centerpiece in a flower bed. Surround it with stones, moss, or creeping thyme to really make it feel like it's grown there forever. And the best part, the teapots don't need to match. In fact, mismatched patterns and colors add charm and character. It's playful, elegant, and totally unexpected. So if you've been craving something that soothes the soul and sparks conversation, this is it. Have you ever walked through a garden and felt like there was something magical just out of sight? Like if you look just a little closer, you might catch a glimpse of something enchanted. Idea number 4, the teapot fairy garden. This one isn't just a DIY, it's a doorway into wonder. Start with a teapot that's seen better days, chipped, cracked, or missing its lid. In fact, the more worn it looks, the more whimsical it becomes. Give it a quick clean, then decide. Do you want to build inside it, around it, or both? Begin by filling the base with potting mix or floral foam, depending on whether you're using real plants or faux materials. Then, create your scene. Add miniature furniture, a tiny bench, a thimble-sized tea set, a tiny stepping stone path. Use dried moss, colored pebbles, and tiny figurines to bring your fairy world to life. Some people craft miniature doors on the front of the teapot, making it look like a hidden home. Others build little balconies, or ladders using toothpicks, twigs, or wire. If you're using live plants, opt for moss, baby's tears, or mini ferns, small enough to stay in scale, lush enough to bring it to life. And don't forget lighting. A small solar fairy light, tucked behind or inside the pot, gives it a gentle nighttime glow that feels straight out of a fantasy film. You can nestle your teapot fairy garden at the base of a tree, hide it among flowers, or display it proudly on a table. And if you have little ones around, trust me, they'll be mesmerized. It becomes more than decoration. It becomes a story, a mystery, a secret world hiding in plain sight. And maybe, just maybe, it'll remind you to slow down, look closer, and let your imagination play a little. So the next time you come across a broken teapot, think twice before tossing it. It might just be a portal to a world of magic waiting to bloom in your backyard. There's something undeniably magical about a garden at twilight. The sun has dipped, the air cools, and shadows stretch just enough to make everything feel a little softer, a little more alive. Idea number 5. The glowing teapot lantern. This simple upcycle turns an old, unused teapot into a charming outdoor light that adds instant warmth to your garden without a single wire. Start with a metal or ceramic teapot, one with a lid that opens easily. If it's colorful or floral, even better. But plain works too, because once it glows from within, it takes on a beauty all its own. Now take a small solar puck light, or a short strand of battery-operated fairy lights. Place the puck inside the teapot, or feed the fairy lights in through the spout or lid opening. If you're using fairy lights, choose the warm white glow for that soft, golden hour feel. You can even add glass marbles, crystals, or translucent beads inside the pot to reflect the light and create a gentle sparkle. For display, you have options. Hang it from a sturdy branch or shepherd's hook using twine or chain, nestle it directly into a flower bed, surrounded by greenery, or cluster a few glowing teapots together on a garden bench or steps for a magical evening vignette. As the sky darkens, the teapot comes alive, casting a warm, cozy light that's both unexpected and enchanting. It's perfect for garden dinners, relaxing evenings, or simply adding a little wonder to your backyard space. And the best part? There are no cords, no fire hazards, and no fuss. Just a recycled teapot, a touch of light, and a little evening magic. Sometimes, the most overlooked part of a garden is the fence. It's just there, quietly doing its job, marking boundaries, offering privacy. But what if it could be something more? Idea number 6. The teapot fence, or wall display. This project is bold, quirky, and bursting with personality. Perfect for gardeners who love to mix color, charm, and just a little bit of whimsy. Start by collecting a few old teapots, ceramic, enamel, even metal. The more colorful, the better. You don't need them to match. In fact, it's more eye-catching when they don't. Now, using strong outdoor screws or hooks, mount each teapot securely to your fence or garden wall. Some people mount them upright, while others tilt them slightly, as if they're pouring into an invisible cup. Spacing is key here. Stagger them, mix sizes, and don't be afraid to add matching teacups, saucers, or small planters in between. You're not just decorating, you're creating a living mural. Want to take it a step further? Tuck in small succulents, or faux trailing plants from the teapot openings. Use them as mini planters or even holders for bird seed, herb cuttings, or trailing ivy. This display works beautifully along patios, balconies, or anywhere you want to add a little spark to a plain surface. And because the teapots are mounted high, they're safe from weather, pets, and curious little hands. It's art, it's conversation, it's recycling with flair. So if you've got a blank fence that's begging for personality, this is your chance to let your creativity spill over, one teapot at a time. If your garden feels flat, this next idea will literally lift it to a whole new level. It's fun, a little quirky, and guaranteed to grab attention. Idea number 7. The stacked teapot flower tower. This one's perfect for anyone who wants to add vertical interest to a patio, porch, or flower bed, but without a single brick or board. Here's how it works. Start with 3 to 5 teapots, ideally in different sizes and colors. You'll also need a sturdy metal rod or thick rebar. This will serve as your center support. Take a large pot or planter as your base and secure the rod vertically by anchoring it into the soil or filling the base with stones and concrete. Once it's in place and stable, the fun begins. Slide your first teapot onto the rod and tilt it slightly to one side. Then add the next one above it, tilted the opposite way. Repeat until you've created a gentle zigzagging tower of teapots that looks like they're defying gravity. To turn it into a blooming sculpture, fill each teapot with potting mix and your favorite trailing or upright flowers. Petunias, lobelia, sweet alyssum, or even strawberries work beautifully here. As they grow, they'll spill over the edges, creating a cascading effect of color and texture. For an extra touch of charm, tuck in small figurines, marbles, or painted rocks among the blooms. You could even paint numbers or quotes on each pot for a personal flair. This flower tower is perfect near entryways, along walkways, or as a garden focal point in a quiet corner. It's playful yet elegant, structured yet wild. And the best part, it takes up hardly any ground space, making it ideal for small gardens, patios, or even balconies. With just a few old teapots, you've created something tall, living, and totally one of a kind. Let's be honest. Garden hoses aren't exactly the prettiest part of your backyard. They're useful, sure, but also clunky, tangled, and usually draped somewhere they don't belong. Idea number 8. The teapot garden hose holder. Yes, you heard that right. A teapot holding a hose, and doing it beautifully. This upcycle is the perfect blend of function and flair. It turns something purely practical into a conversation piece, and adds a whimsical touch where you'd least expect it. Start with a large metal or enamel teapot. The spout isn't the star this time. It's the handle. You'll want a teapot with a sturdy looped handle that can support a bit of weight. Mount the teapot securely onto a fence, garden shed, or an exterior wall using heavy-duty screws or a metal bracket. Make sure it's at a comfortable height, high enough to keep your hose off the ground, but low enough to wrap it easily. Once it's fixed in place, simply wrap your garden hose around the teapot's body, letting the handle act as a natural anchor. And just like that, your messy garden corner becomes a charming vignette. You can take it a step further by painting the teapot to match your fence or garden color scheme, or stencil on a word like water or grow for a playful label. It's the kind of little detail that makes people stop and smile, and more importantly, it works. No more tangled hoses lying across your walkway. No more ugly plastic reels that break after one season. Just one old teapot, doing something completely unexpected, and doing it well. Close your eyes and picture this. A gentle breeze rolls through your garden. The leaves rustle, and then you hear it. A soft, melodic tinkling, like whispers from a fairy tale. That's the magic of idea number 9. The teapot windchime. It's delicate, artistic, and completely one of a kind. Here's how to create your own. Start with a lightweight metal or ceramic teapot. One with a handle and a sturdy spout is ideal. It gives you more places to hang from. Then gather your chime materials, old silverware teacup handles or broken china pieces, beads, crystals, keys, buttons, even seashells. The more eclectic, the better. Using a strong drill and ceramic or metal bit, carefully create small holes along the bottom rim of the teapot. Thread fishing line, twine, or jewelry wire through each hole and attach your chime elements at varying lengths. You'll want to balance weight and placement so that the pieces gently knock into one another in the wind. Not too heavy, not too light. Think gentle tinkling, not clanging metal. Once your strands are secured, run another loop of wire or chain through the teapot's handle or lid to create a hanging point. Then choose your perfect spot, a tree branch, pergola beam, or porch corner. The result? An unexpected piece of art that sounds as beautiful as it looks. During the day, sunlight might catch the crystals or silver, casting little sparkles across your garden. At night, the soft tones drift through the air, turning your yard into a sanctuary of sound. And just like that, an old teapot and a few forgotten utensils become something new, something soothing, something soulful. Sometimes the simplest things leave the most lasting impressions. And when it comes to outdoor gatherings, whether it's tea with a friend, a family lunch, or just a quiet evening with a book, the centerpiece matters. Idea number 10. The teapot garden centerpiece. Elegant, easy, and full of character. This upcycle turns an old teapot into a focal point that feels straight out of an English garden. Here's how to bring it to life. Start by choosing a teapot with personality. It could be floral and vintage, modern and minimalist, or even charmingly cracked. As long as it speaks to you, it's the right one. Fill it with fresh flowers, dried arrangements, or even a mix of herbs and foliage from your garden. Lavender, rosemary, daisies, marigolds. They all work beautifully and bring fragrance as well as color. Want a longer-lasting option? Use faux greenery, silk blooms, or even a mix of moss and succulents for a more sculptural look. Now place your teapot in the center of a garden table, rustic bench, or even an old wooden crate. Surround it with matching teacups, stacked saucers, candles, or fruit. You can even nestle it in a shallow tray with river rocks or glass beads for extra texture and shine. It instantly creates an atmosphere, one that feels intentional, cozy, and deeply personal. It's not just decor. It's a little celebration of slow living, of details, of storytelling through space. And here's a lovely twist. Change your centerpiece with the seasons. Fresh peonies in spring, sunflowers in summer, mini pumpkins and eucalyptus in fall, pine cones and cranberries in winter. One teapot, endless transformations. Whether you're hosting guests or simply enjoying a solo moment outdoors, this centerpiece brings grace and personality to your space, without costing a thing. So there you have it. 10 teapots. 10 totally unexpected ways to turn the ordinary into something unforgettable. Remember, these projects aren't about perfection. They're about joy, creativity, and the magic that happens when you look at something old and say, "You're not done yet." So which one was your favorite? Are you dreaming of building your own fairy garden, or stacking teapots into a flower tower? Or maybe you're ready to try the clever hose holder and give your backyard that wow factor. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts, your ideas, or your plans. If you try any of these projects, please tag us on social media at Greenhaven Homes. We love seeing your creations and sharing them with our community. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun, creative, and budget-friendly garden DIYs every week. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an idea that could transform your space. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Here's to making your garden a little greener, a little brighter, and a whole lot more magical. One teapot at a time. See you next time on Greenhaven Homes.